This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this morning, to the Bethel fire. Kidnapped expatriate on Trans-Calabari Road in River State. Force Public Relations Officer CP Frankumba, who named the suspects on Thursday, said they were arrested by operatives of the Special Tactical Squad.
These suspects, Isiaku Lawal, Muazu Abubakar, and Adamu Bello, aged between 26 and 27 years, played very key roles in the recent kidnap of over 100 students from Bethel Baptist School in Kaduna. These suspects are part of the larger gang that carried out that horrible act. We've generated sufficient intelligence and we are closing up on the remaining members of the gang.
An earlier statement said the police also arrested a robbery syndicate linked to about 50 armed robberies along major highways in the southwest of the country, all within the ages of 21 to 27 years. Similarly, police investigations into the recent spate of break-ins and the theft in places of worship in the FCT and neighboring states led to the arrest of 3 members of a gang that specialized in stealing musical instruments from churches. 26 sophisticated firearms, including 13 AK-47 rifles, 4 SMGs, 4 locally made revolver rifles, and 2,720 ammunition of different caliber, are some of the exhibits recovered from all the suspects. The IGP, Usman Al-Kalibaba, while appreciating citizens for their support in fighting crime in the country, reiterated that the force will intensify efforts towards improving public safety and security in the country. According to him, all the suspects will be charged to court on completion of investigations. Over 1 week after he was abducted, the expatriate kidnapped on the Trans-Calabari construction site in River State remains in captivity. Speaking on this, the president of the Ijaw National Congress, INC, Benjamin Okaba, urged the abductors of the expatriate to remember the urgent need for development in the region and release the victim unconditionally.
It's not in our part of what we are known for. Kidnapping is becoming a criminal act, anti-progressive. How will you go and kidnap somebody who is working to bring development to the grassroots? We condemn it in this entirety, and we are backing the River State government. If I said we also see that an act of sabotage against the efforts of the River State government to draw development close to the people. First and foremost, calling on the federal government and all security agencies to do all that is possible to secure the release of the kidnapped expatriates.
The INC president called on traditional rulers, including youths in the region, to increase their surveillance on the protection of projects cited in their domain.
It's not in our part of what we are known for. Kidnapping is becoming a criminal act, anti-progressive. How will you go and kidnap somebody who is...
On his part, the Kalabari Segbagi, chairman of Ijaw Youth Council IYC, Asikatams Edward, said the council is working with relevant critical stakeholders in the area to ensure the timely release of the kidnapped expatriate.
I also want to call on our young men, our brothers and sisters in the Greeks, that please, the decision kidnapping, it has never been fashionable. At the point we are, please, we should divert attention to engaging in entrepreneurial activities. Kidnapping is economic sabotage. Youth agencies and organizations, particularly the IYC, should please be vigilant. They must let us see it as our own responsibility of ensuring that we bring to book whoever that is behind such a act.
At least one person has died after a building collapsed in Wuji area of Port Harcourt. 2 others were injured following the incident. Eyewitnesses believe the recent flash floods in Port Harcourt led to the collapse of the building, but a survivor said the building had integrity issues as workers were carrying out some reinforcement work when the building collapsed. The victims were construction workers. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami says the Federal Inland Revenue Service FIRS will continue to collect VAT following the ruling of the Court of Appeal on the matter. In an interview with the News Agency of Nigeria in New York, Malami said the ruling of the Court of Appeal that the FIRS and the River State government maintain status quo over a disagreement in collection of VAT favored the FIRS.
That status quo associated with the collection of value-added tax should be maintained. And the status quo, as far as the core judicial system is concerned, is a status quo that, as at the time the parties approached the court, it was the Federal Inland Revenue Service that was indeed collecting the value-added tax. So with that in mind, the federal government has succeeded in obtaining an order that establishes the sustenance of the status quo, which status quo is that the Federal Inland Revenue Service should continue the collection pending the determination of the court.
He said the federal government is considering taking an action at the Supreme Court.
But one thing of interest is the fact that the federal government had indeed taken cognizance of the fact that where there exists a dispute between state and the federal government, it is the Supreme Court that should naturally have the jurisdiction to determine the dispute between a state and the federation. And we are taking steps to consider the possibility of instituting an action before the Supreme Court for the purpose of having this matter determined once and for all.
A one-day colloquium was held in honor of Governor Nyesom Wike by Coordinators Forum of GDI with the theme Decentralization of Infrastructural Development and Grassroots Participation, the Governor Wike's model. Speaking during the event to x-ray the achievement of the governor across the 23 local government areas of the state, Prince Onuwo said Governor Wike has demonstrated strength in governance. He called on the governor to avail himself in 2023 to salvage the country from the current economic quagmire.
Just like the biblical story of the 9 lepers healed by Jesus Christ, where only one returned to thank Jesus, we have decided to be like the one leper who came to show appreciation to Jesus because he recognized and valued what Jesus had done for him. In like manner, we say a very big thank you to our master, father, and political godfather, from whom abundant words of political inspiration we were nurtured. At this rigorous and gloomy time of our existence as a nation, occasioned by the visionless and toothless administration at the federal level, under the ABC government, only a man as thoughtful as Governor Nyesom Wike can salvage our dear nation and redeem us from the mess we have been plunged into. I therefore use this occasion to call on the elder statesmen of our dear party and Rivers State to beg and encourage Governor Wike to run for 2023 general election as president. There is no doubt Nigeria needs Wike.
Also, chairman of the occasion and senior advocate of Nigeria, Osiji Okocha, said Governor Nyesom Wike's courage on developmental issues shows that he is a leader that cares for the people.
So I feel very, very happy to identify with this initiative. Here is a man who we believe, and I'm convinced beyond every reasonable doubt, that put him on a very important seat in Nigeria, Nigeria will also be transformed as Rivers State has been transformed. We have seen interventions, even in political areas, where some people are not bold enough to tread. Recently, you've seen the victory we won on the issue of value-added tax. And it signals that this is a man who is ready to confront the status quo based on his own convictions and what he feels will benefit his state, benefit his people.
The guest speaker, Professor Gladson Walker, while speaking on the topic decentralization of infrastructural development and grassroots participation, the Governor Wike's model advocated for the creation of an institution that can train leaders to sustain legacies.
One of the things that bothers me actually is the sustainability of the legacies of Governor Nyesom Wike. When he leaves, who takes over? Can he sustain what has been put in place? One of the problems we've been having, particularly in Nigeria or Rivers State, is that we do not set succession plan. And one way of setting succession plan is to train manpower. But I tell you of a truth, we have no university or institution that can train successors.
Correspondent Emeka Otuka reports that a special award was also presented to Governor Nyesom Wike. Some of GDI members and patron and posthumous awards went to some deceased members. Elder statesman and PDP leader in Ichie local government area, Sir Prince Ima Anyanwu, on Thursday joined Governor Nyesom Wike and other prominent Rivers sons to receive awards of various categories from the Grassroots Development Initiative GDI Worldwide for their outstanding contributions to the pro-PDP group and the development of the state. Prince Anyanwu, who addressed journalists shortly after he received his award of merit as an icon of a true Rivers man during the one-day colloquium in honor of Governor Nyesom Wike, organized by the GDI Worldwide Coordinators Forum, dedicated the award to Rivers youth. The elder statesman said he remains a strong supporter of grassroots mobilization on which the Wike-led administration was founded. Prince Anyanwu advised the other politicians to emulate him in total loyalty to the leadership of the party in the state, while describing Governor Nyesom Wike as a great leader that is loved and appreciated by Rivers people. The chairman of Iche local government area, Obina Anyanwu, his chief of staff, Promise Nwankwo, coordinator of GDI Iche chapter, Teslin Agbagbo, alongside various supporters and appointees of the council, accompanied Prince Ima Anyanwu to the event. Still ahead, INEC to improve on CVR exercise in second quarter next month. Stay tuned. The Ikwere local government area says it is set to commission 8 projects, flag off 4 projects, and embark on medical outreach as part of programs lined up to mark the 100 days in office of the second-term administration of Samuel Wanosike starting from Monday, September 27, 2021. Chairman of the 100 Days in Office Planning Committee, Prince Nyeche, disclosed this at a media briefing at the Council Secretariat in Isiokpo. Mr. Nyeche, who is also the Secretary to the Council, said Engineer Wanosike's administration has redefined local government administration in the state and beyond.
Here we are in the Ikwere local government. We're happy with what the local government chairman is doing. We are telling the world that the local government chairman of Ikwere is the best local government chairman in the whole 774 local governments across Nigeria. We are optimistic that in his new administration we are going to achieve more. The chairman of Ikwere local government has raised the standard of the third tiers of government. The history has been made that over the years, people have been thinking that local government chairman cannot offer much. But with what he has put on ground, I think it is obvious that local government administration can do more. Because local government has been put in the first lane of development.
On his part, Secretary of the Committee and Secretary of the Council, Darlington Orji, said the projects are in fulfillment of his promises to the people of Ikwere local government area.
The most important thing of this administration is that this is a man that is not only doing infrastructural development, he's also doing human capital development programs. Samuel Wanosike has also engaged in making sure that our people are engaged in artisanship, because you cannot just build infrastructure without building the people. They will come back to vandalize it. So this is an administration that have taken into human capital development and infrastructural development. So for me, the local government people are very satisfied that the man has kept to the promises he made. But with what we have lined up now, it shows that this is a workaholic chairman that is a pure replica of His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State. And I thank His Excellency on behalf of the local government people for giving us an opportunity to have a chairman that is actually community-driven.
Correspondent Mikhail Tukan reports that Mr. Orji also listed some of the projects that are to be commissioned and flagged off, noting that Engineer Wanosike has shown prudence in the management of resources of the Ikwere local government area.
We have outlined 13 activities to be carried out in his first 100 days in office. Honorable Engineer Samuel Wanosike made a promise to God Almighty that if given opportunity to return back to Ikwere local government, he's going to build a chapel. That's a place of worship for Ikwere local government people, and that will be flagged up on 27th, which is Monday. That day too, we'll be commissioning our 300 kVA capacity generator. We'll be commissioning a 26 table market and toilet facilities in Elele Watre. So this is just the phase one of what he's doing. In his first tenure, of course, he touched the lives of Ikore local government people in the various wards.
INEC says it will improve the continuous voter registration CVR exercise in its second quarter, which begins in October. INEC's chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, tells correspondent Choma Ezewanfo that the commission has drawn lessons from the first quarter of the exercise, which ended this week.
We've learned very, very valuable lessons from this first quarter of the exercise, and we have also come to the realization that more people want to register, and that a lot of the youth prefer to use the online for purposes of registration. So by the time we deploy to the various registration areas, more people will have access to the equipment. So if we deploy to the registration area, the time we give for people to go and complete their biometrics will be shortened.
Mr. Okoye said the commission will involve more people to assist in the second quarter of the CVR exercise.
The youth who are between the age bracket of 18 to 34 constitute 71.33% of those who have completed their registration. That is a total of 771,770. Those who are between the age of 35 and 49, we have a total of 207,963. Now, for the elderly, that is those who are between the age of 50 and 69, we have a total of 90,188.
The second quarter of CVR exercise will start on October 4 and end on December 20. A report says NYSC authorities in Cross River State have forced a core member, Ezerakui Fanywa Fidelis, who was assaulted by a female army officer of 13th Brigade Command Calabar, Lieutenant Chika Viola Anele, over an argument to leave the state. This followed the arrest of Lieutenant Anele by the military police after a viral video showed her bathing a youth corps member who was kneeling with what looked like mud. Many Nigerians have condemned the assault on the corps member. The report is alleging a cover-up by the military. Reacting to the incident, the Director, Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, described Anele's conduct as unprofessional, adding that she would undergo regimental trial in line with the excellent provisions of the Armed Forces Act. Nwachukwu denied the allegation that the brigade attempted to cover up the incident, adding that the Army had zero tolerance for indiscipline among its personnel. The House of Representatives has urged the federal government to intervene and secure the release of Nigerians who have been detained illegally in prisons abroad. This followed a motion of urgent national importance sponsored by Rep. Member Dennis Idahosa. Mr. Idahosa is concerned that about reports that many Nigerians are suffering in foreign prisons, some of whom are being illegally detained, while some are exposed to labor exploitation, poor living conditions, discrimination, sex exploitation, and other forms of dehumanizing treatments. The House mandates the Committees on Foreign Affairs, Justice and Interparliamentary Relations and Diaspora to ensure compliance.
And now we'll bring you news from around the world.
The person in charge of health policy in a province of South Africa has suggested that women should withhold sex from men who have not been vaccinated. Local media quoted the Eastern Cape's Nomakosazana Meth as saying she thinks it is a good idea to say no vaccine, no sex, especially for unmarried women, as it will protect both partners. It followed a report showing that fewer men than women were getting the jabs. Ms. Meth expressed concern that the number of men going for the jab was too low and called for them to do the right thing. On the news this morning, you heard that the police have arrested 3 suspects linked to the Bethel school abduction. The federal government has said that the FIRS will continue to collect VAT. The kidnapped expatriate on Trans-Calabari Road in River State is yet to be released over a week after he was kidnapped. A building has collapsed in Woji, killing one of the construction workers. GDI has presented a special award to Governor Nyesom Wike and others. On the foreign scene, we told you that the report says no vaccine, no sex call targets South African men. The news was edited by Enoho Ogbevire. Contact our newsroom at 0818-900-0017. For more stories, visit www.nigeriainfo.fm. Cloudy weather is expected in Port Harcourt this morning. My name is Ifiemi Andrew. Thank you for your time, and bye-bye for now.